Nothing that we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
All right, everybody, Cowboy here, 8:30 a.m. EST. We're looking at Bitcoin, and it looks like yesterday's show we talked about, hey, decision point, and it was at 88,000. We have a break downwards. So I told my clients last night at Algo Factory that I expected 83,000 to be tested, and it looks like price is heading down in that direction. Price was in a bit of a downtrend on the higher time frame, and then it made an uptrend, right? So going back here to what is this? January 20th, right? So basically the inauguration, right? We see price begin to fall, and it goes on a downtrend because the entire market started to fall. Really, NASDAQ, we'll get into NASDAQ shortly, but what you see here is in fact a downtrend, and we see higher highs, lower lows, and then we get this like mini uptrend, but it's still technically in a downtrend, right? This really isn't necessary. Like this move up, when you look at this downtrend with higher highs and higher lows, this is looking like it wants to make or I just misspoke. This downtrend with lower highs and lower lows right now looks like it wants to create another lower high and then maybe go even lower, right? Now, I did say that this was a decision point. So if we zoom in right here, this area where price just finally made its way to, what was it, 88,000? Yeah, almost 89,000. That was kind of important. That was an important spot. There's a lot of reasons for that. However, I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to continue the downtrend, but if I had to guess, if somebody like said, hey, make a call, gun to your head, what do you think's going to happen? Yeah, I think you're going to see more down. And the reason I think that, a big reason has to do with the traditional finance market, because even though a lot of people were bullish a day or two ago, my high time frame charts had that as bearish. So we'll get into the NASDAQ here because that's important. But before we do, what do I think Bitcoin is going to do next? Let's answer that. I think today it's either going to kind of hang out where it is or it's going to push down, right? I don't think it's going to head up. So looking at the algos here, there's a certain bit of weakness in the algo. And if I just had to kind of eyeball it, what I would expect right now might be something like there's 2 different things I'd look at. You have these supports here on the way up, these little pivot points where price made those higher lows in this mini uptrend that really is just part of a bigger downtrend, right? So let me go ahead and mark those out because those are areas that price may go down to test. And right now, I'd say price is probably going to just head down there. I think that's the most likely thing we're going to see today. Let me take a brief look here at the NASDAQ and just make sure I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing here. Yeah, as it stands, things are looking a little bit bearish. So on Bitcoin, the most likely scenario, I'll give you 2 scenarios, the most likely and then the next most likely. I think price is going to break down. This is the most likely scenario. It might just kind of go like this. You might get a little sideways around 83,000. You'll see the test. And from there, it's either going to make a little move up or it's just going to plow down. And I think whatever move up it makes might be kind of small, and then it plows down to 80, and then we're going to have to see what happens after that. I do think if we see 80, then there's a really good chance price heads down to 78. Now, it might not do it in a straight line, right? It might continue to make these stop-offs here at some of these supports here, maybe even grab some liquidity, but I think eventually it's going to make its way down to 78. That's the most likely kind of scenario. Might not look exactly like this, might be quicker, might be slower, but this is what I am expecting, okay, overall. Now, what might also happen is something similar, but price might go sideways for a little bit longer. And I don't think this is going to be the case. I think the last illustration I made is more than likely what's going to happen, but we might see price kind of go sideways, even grab some liquidity and do this. Now, Bitcoin is known in the bull market to punish the shorts. The real question is, are we still in a bull market with Bitcoin? And that's a tough one because we have kind of a 50-50 when you look at the very high time frame algos. Are we in like a pullback amidst a bull market? or are we in some kind of just a downtrend in general? Like, is the bull market over and we're heading down to, the bear, right? So give me just 1 second. 9-7. I need to take a trade here. Give me a moment. Am I going to do this trade? I'm going to map out a trade on a totally different chart, and we're going to take a look at it's the AUD JPY. I'm just going to look at the calendar here. We're going to take a break from our Bitcoin here because we're pretty much done talking about Bitcoin anyway. And we're going to see if there's any news coming out that would affect an AUD JPY trade. Okay, so today is the 28th. Okay, so some USD info just came out, and that's Canadian GDP and core PCE. So the PCE, it was a few minutes ago. We'll take a brief look at the dollar, and then we're going to look at AUD JPY. And then we'll come back to talk about the NASDAQ. But right now, this is the other option, something kind of like this with Bitcoin, but I don't think necessarily price will start heading up. It could. The bulls could always step in and push price up. There's a lot of people buying Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's impossible the price would come up here. And as a matter of fact, we could see a bull trap to scare people into buying it and then go down. But I think ultimately there is more room for price to fall, right? So this is kind of the least likely scenario, but it's there. Okay, so let's look at AUD JPY and let's see if there's a trade that I might want to take here. Now, this is a little bit of a scalp. I don't recommend ever following me on my trades. I think people should do their own thing. And as I was talking about it, I lost some of the profit possibility here because we were talking, but here's the 9. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to see if there's enough meat on this bone here to try and grab a little profit. And there may be a little meat on this bone. We're going to take a look at this impulse downward. Yeah, this is a support that makes sense here. I think we'll go ahead and look at a trade. Now, the thing about today, I don't normally like to swing trade on Fridays, and this is starting to look a bit like a swing trade. It makes me a little more comfortable taking the trade because it's on a little bit higher of a time frame, so it makes me more comfortable showing everybody else the trade. But that's the trade right there. So let me go ahead and short this. Okay. Now I have to set a take profit. Now I don't know if it's on my end, but TradingView's API, this is real not that great right now. Like the API that works with Oanda specifically, or it might just be Oanda is the Forex platform that I use, right? There we go. Trading. Log in. So you got to take the time to do these things because, and I had to reset my whole computer. Otherwise, this would all be set up and ready to go. But I actually had some technical difficulties this morning. Okay, so let's go trade here. Apologies for the boredom here, but sometimes you gotta, I'm here to trade. I gotta make money. So, okay. And 94494 is my take profit. AUDJPY. So I'm going onto the Oanda platform to set my take profit. And that's because for whatever reason, like I said, the API on TradingView is really slipping right now. I need to talk to them. It's probably something on my computer. TradingView is awesome. I love them. I doubt it has anything to do with them, but either way, I need to get that figured out. Okay, so take profit is set. And let me put it on my trading station here. Give me a second. Okay, good. Everything looks good. Okay, let's see. All right. And am I on the right one here? Okay, it looks like I am. So I'm going to set some alerts. I got a stop loss alert here. And there you go. Nice little Forex trade. Now, here's the thing about this game. I like to trade Forex for a number of reasons. Crypto is awesome. It's volatile. It's great to trade certain pairs, but you always have like this year or two where there's really not much to do. Like there's just no trading going on. It's super quiet. And so basically you just kind of have to sit on your hands for like a year and a half or two. Well, that doesn't work for me. I'm a trader, that's my income. So I need to find a market where I can trade all the time. And Forex is like a great analog to crypto. And I really cut my teeth on crypto. I actually first started trading silver on the margin, right? And this is a long time ago now. So 14 years ago, I started trading silver margin, but I didn't know anything about trading, technical trading markets, algos, nothing. I just was paying attention to the fundamentals of the market, right? But when I got into crypto about 6 years later, that's where I went ahead and learned how to do all the algos and so on and so forth. So Forex, though, my first crypto cycle, Forex got real quiet. Crypto got real quiet in the bear market because that's just what it does. You have the bear market, and so crypto doesn't do anything for like 2 years. I needed a way to trade to make income because at that point, it was like I became a full-time trader. So that's my story, and I found Forex, and it has treated me well ever since. So here we are looking at the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ is going to push Bitcoin around, okay? And this will be the last thing we look at. We're already a little bit over on time, but because I took the time to take that trade, of course, everybody got to see that trade, a little bit of a freebie. You're not supposed to follow my trades, by the way. That's not what that is. It's for educational purposes only, right? But it's free entertainment for you. And so, long story short, you got to see that. Now, because the NASDAQ still has a lot of bearishness in it, there's a really good chance that it's going to go ahead and push everything else down. And that includes Bitcoin. That includes just a lot of different markets. Okay. And that's NASDAQ. That applies to all the indices. That's just a general stock market thing. So NASDAQ doesn't control the stock market as a whole. But when you're looking at the entire market holistically, you do need to consider any of the indices. And Bitcoin, because it trades like a tech stock, NASDAQ seems to be the best kind of analog way to look at Bitcoin, right? And, my initial call this week were for moves up, and I was dead on for like 2-3 days. And then the up energy just kind of fell away, and now you're seeing it fall. And I thought we had more time. I've been saying it for weeks that the indices do have a lot of high time frame bearishness. I've been saying it for a long time, and Guerilla, my business partner, has given us some information that goes along with that. But I expected to see a bit more of a move up before a move down. Now, I'm not saying it's going to continue down, but down it is going, and it will push Bitcoin down with it. So if I were to just look at this chart, this is a messy crush downwards. If you look at these candles, it's real, very jagged, lots of wicks, not clean. But the reason is because they're algorithmically, like when you look at the way things go, there's everybody at Algo Factory knows what I'm talking about when they see the screen here. And I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to give away too much, but this is a very bearish look on this chart. And that's a 3-day chart, 3-hour chart. This is swing trading time frame. So to see what I'm seeing on here, it tells me that there's a very good chance the price is going to continue down on the NASDAQ and for some time. Now we might end up, and I'm going to the daily here. This is the daily chart. We might end up seeing, maybe the plunge protection team come in, add some money to the market. We might get some news, but in the absence of that, I expect more down, maybe a hard pop up to test this 20,500 number, and then kind of a continuation down, right? So I'm going to go ahead, and as far as where I think price is going to go for the NASDAQ, I'm going to save that for the private live lab over to Algo Factory. There should be some people in there already, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look here. If there is anybody in Algo Factory, go ahead and give me a 5x5. Let me know that you are hearing me. I thought I started a video chat, but maybe I didn't. Okay. Okay, I got someone in there typing. All right, cool. So we're good to go. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and give more information on what I think is going to happen in the private live lab. But listen, first of all, you see on the screen where it says get your free algo. There is an algo that you can get. Go into the description. Just click the link in there if you're with YouTube. I think if you're on Rumble right now, you may have to actually like copy and paste the link. That might be the case. It might not allow you to just click the link. Either way, get it. Send us your email, first name, and I will send you an algo. You'll get it in your inbox. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We're going to see you next week. And see, do I got... okay, never mind. I thought Via the Guerilla was here, but he's not here yet. I'm sure he'll show up shortly. Again, thank you all for watching. And also, never forget...
join us or die.
Just kidding. Just kidding. You're not going to die. It's okay. It's just a joke.